Have you ever noticed that the idea of freedom can look so different depending on where you are? In China, there are these seven everyday freedoms that, well, they really shock most Americans.
Yeah, absolutely. It's really interesting. I mean, drinking in public without a worry, it's something most of us in the States would never imagine, right?
Exactly. It's like you can just grab a beer on the street and enjoy it without any extra fuss or fear. And then there's the whole no tipping culture. That's a complete paradigm shift compared to what we deal with back
Right.
home.
Yeah, tipping in the US often feels obligatory and stressful. Not having to worry about that must really simplify the dining experience over there.
Totally. It's almost like the system is streamlined so that you just pay the price at the restaurant and you're done with it. It makes transactions so straightforward.
And then there's the part about lightning fast delivery services. I mean, ordering food and having it delivered like almost instantly. It's impressive.
Oh yeah, it's like it's like an express channel for everyday needs. The speed is just astonishing. It's not just about convenience. It really reflects how integrated technology is with daily life there.
Speaking of integration, the public transportation system they've built is equally impressive. Not only is it efficient, but it's also super reliable. That's hard to say for many systems back home.
Definitely. The video I saw really highlights how public transit isn't just about getting from point A to point B. It's about affordability and a worry free travel experience. Even during rush hours, everything seems to flow smoothly.
Yeah, though I wonder, is that efficiency mostly limited to the major cities like Shanghai or Beijing, or is it widespread?
That's a good point. While the spotlight is usually on the mega cities, there's a rapid expansion into other urban areas too. It's like they're practically exporting this model of convenience to smaller cities
Yeah,
as well.
interesting. And then there's the subject of nighttime safety and culture. That struck me as particularly remarkable. Imagine feeling secure enough to, you know, be out and about even late at night.
Oh, absolutely. It's not just safe, it's vibrant. The culture promotes a sense of community responsibility. People are out enjoying nightlife, and there's a trust that pervades the environment. It's almost relaxing to hear about.
I really like that aspect because it completely redefines what we consider as freedom at night. Instead of being a time of fear, it's a time of enjoyment and trust.
Right. And then, another huge shocker for the American mindset is affordable healthcare. When you consider the astronomical costs we face, getting accessible healthcare in China is a refreshing twist.
Yeah, that sort of flips the script completely. It makes you question whether we're missing something in how we value and structure our own systems.
For sure. And then, one of the most thought provoking points: college without crushing debt. Imagine being able to get a higher education without the massive financial burden that so many Americans struggle with.
Absolutely. I love that contrast. But don't you think that this affordability must come with, some trade offs? Maybe differences in academic resources or in overall quality?
That's a fair challenge. While the affordability is undeniably appealing, it's not a free lunch. Some argue that the government support, which keeps tuition low, sometimes results in other constraints. It's a trade off in terms of academic freedom and maybe curriculum
Yeah.
diversity.
Right. So while it's impressive from a cost perspective, we need to consider the broader picture of what that means for academic life.
Exactly. And these seven freedoms: the public drinking, no tipping, super fast delivery, efficient transit, safe nighttime culture, affordable healthcare, and debt free college are not just random perks. They're reflections of deeper societal values and priorities in China.
Yeah, it really seems like they've built a system around everyday practicality and community centric values. It's a whole different model from what many of us are used to.
Right. It makes you rethink what freedom actually means. It's not always about having an abundance of choices. Sometimes it's about a system that's engineered to be efficient and less stressful in daily
Exactly.
life.
That's so true. But while these freedoms sound amazing on paper, don't you think there's a risk of oversimplifying things? I mean, can we really take these as pure benefits without also considering the areas where there might be limitations in political or social expression?
You're touching on an important nuance. While these everyday conveniences are impressive, they exist within a broader context that includes, well, certain restrictions, especially when it comes to political freedoms and free speech. It's like you get this hyper efficient lifestyle, but then there's another layer that's not as open.
Yeah, I see that. It's a kind of double edged sword then. The freedoms stress everyday practicality, but at the same time, the overall political landscape may not be as free as the everyday culture suggests.
Exactly. It's like comparing different flavors. On one side, you have the taste of practical freedom, drinking in public, hassle free dining, super fast logistics. And on the other, you have the more controlled facets of governance and expression.
Right. I love that analogy. And it really opens up the conversation about how we might reframe our own ideas about freedom by examining these alternative models.
Yeah, it's pretty refreshing. This kind of content really pushes you to look beyond stereotypes and see the complexities in everyday life across cultures. It's like we're invited to appreciate differences while also learning from them.
Absolutely. It's not about declaring one system as better than the other. It's about understanding the trade offs and recognizing that what we think of as freedom can have multiple diverse expressions.
I totally agree. And the authenticity of the presentation, coming from someone knowledgeable about both cultures, adds a lot of weight to the discussion. It's never just a superficial peek, but really gets into the nitty gritty details.
Right. And that authenticity is crucial. It bridges the gap between the American and Chinese perspectives, offering a more holistic look at what freedom means in daily contexts.
Exactly. It makes you reflect on how certain everyday freedoms, like not having to fidget over a tip or feeling safe while exploring the city after dark, can enhance quality of life in unexpected ways.
Yeah, and it makes our own challenges look a little more manageable by comparison, or at least it opens up the discussion for reform.
Totally. But I do think it's important to note that while these freedoms are appealing, they're part of a broader, sometimes more controlled societal framework. So there's always a balance to be struck.
That's a fair point, right? And it shows that every system has its strengths and limitations. We can admire the practicality and efficiency while still being critical of the aspects that seem less free in a political sense.
Exactly. And it's like this content really invites us not just to marvel at the conveniences, but also to dig deeper into what underpins them. Every freedom comes with its own historical, cultural, and political context.
For sure. It's a rich tapestry of ideas that challenges our assumptions about what living in a free society really means.
Yeah, it does. And in a way, these insights encourage us to reflect on our own ways of living in terms of convenience, safety, and overall well being. It's a chance to consider how we might improve aspects of our own system by, taking inspiration from them.
Exactly. It's almost like the discussion becomes a learning opportunity for us back home as well, prompting us to think outside the box about redefining freedom.
Right. So while the video lays out these 7 everyday freedoms, from public drinking and no tipping to fast deliveries, smooth transit, nighttime safety, affordable healthcare, and accessible education, it's really about inviting us to reimagine what a society built on practical day-to-day liberty could look like.
Yeah. And let's not forget, it's the authenticity and on-the-ground perspective that really makes the discussion resonate. It's not just theoretical. It's based on real experiences and cultural nuances.
Absolutely. And even if there are critiques to be made, like the trade offs between everyday convenience and the broader political dynamics, it definitely sparks a conversation that's both enriching and eye
For
opening.
sure. I agree. It reminds us that every society has its unique strengths, and understanding them can help us better appreciate our own, while also learning from what we see elsewhere.
So, in the end, these 7 freedoms in China serve as a mirror that not only reflects a different way of living, but also challenges us to think about how freedom itself is, well, defined in the context of everyday life.
Yeah, exactly. Thanks for this engaging exchange. It's been really enlightening to unpack these ideas. I'm definitely left pondering over what freedoms we might want to reshape in our own context.
Absolutely. It's been a great discussion. Let's keep exploring these cross-cultural insights and let them inspire us to think deeper about our own definitions of freedom. Cheers to that.